Hey, and welcome to my 30-day challenge. Today I'm going to review Donnie Darko. Day 1 theme is my favourite film, and obviously this is my favourite film. It's about a troubled teenager who is plagued by visions of a large bunny called Frank, and he's a rabbit, or a guy dressed as a rabbit, and he manipulates him to commit a series of crimes after narrowing escaping a bizarre accident where a plane crashes into his house. It stars Jake Gyllenhaal, Holmes Osborne, Maggie Gyllenhaal, uh, Mary McDonnell, James Duval, and Patrick Swayze. But first, before I get into the film, uh, Jake Gyllenhaal and Maggie Gyllenhaal, I never knew they were related. Maggie Gyllenhaal was the person who played Rachel in the Dark Knight, and she's kind of buzzed, to be honest. Like she's not really doing things, and in a no homo way, Jake Gyllenhaal's kind of like a he's a little bit better looking. I'm not going to say he's anything else, but I'll show you two pictures of them while I'm saying this. But it's yeah, I never knew they were related. That's kind of weird. Um, but onto the film, I guess. So yeah, it's about a troubled teenager. He's pretty messed up on meds, kind of antidepressant meds, and his parents thinks he's a bit of a freak. Um, and yeah, he starts seeing this bunny after a plane accident. Who the bunny actually saves him from a plane accident. Plane crashes into their house, right into his room. He would have died if he wouldn't if the bunny didn't take him outside. Um, and yeah, he starts seeing this bunny more and more, and the bunny starts telling him to do stuff like busting a water main in the school, and tells him to burn down this guy. Real fucking douchebag. Patrick Swayze's character, Jim Cunningham, who gives these really weird speeches about hate, and he picks on all fat kids and wimpy kids. And Donnie Darko actually gives him a nice little kind of rant. Calls him the Antichrist, I think. I'm not sure. Um, and yeah, so he burns down this guy's house, and they find a shit ton of child pornography. And yeah, they bust him, and the douchebag goes to jail. Um, yeah, it's a really good film, really well worked, good script, um, really good plot. It's kind of interesting. It's about kind of time travel and time itself, and kind of what we think is real and what isn't real. It's quite a dreamlike film, quite 80s actually. It's got Echo and the Bunnymen in the soundtrack, and Mad World. It's the Gary Jules version, but the original version. I can't remember who it's by. I'll remember in a second. It's a classic 80s song, so it's got quite an 80s throwback to this film, where it's shot as well. I think it's set in the 80s. I'm not sure. Um, there's a little bit of a love interest in this film, but that's really the only bad thing I can say about it. I mean, the girl's she's all right, but it's not really like a really interesting part of the film. The love part. I gotta say, Drew Barrymore looks kind of hot in it. Usually she's a bit of a ginger minger, like she's not looking too good, but in this one she's looking all right. Um, her character's quite interesting, and so is the other male teacher. Um, the twist at the end is pretty good actually. I actually quite enjoyed it. I wasn't really expecting it. What he does at the end, I won't ruin it for you. If you have seen it, then you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, then I would really advise watching this film because it's actually really interesting. People kind of consider it like a weird film, kind of, yeah, kind of fucked up, and they won't watch it. But it's not like Saw fucked up, and plenty of people have seen that. It's just a really well directed and well scripted film. Um, yeah, so I definitely would advise seeing it. But the twist at the end is completely unexpected. It's quite a mind boggler, a little bit like Inception, but Inception's ending is a little bit, I don't know, unnecessary. I don't know, it confused people for no reason. I didn't really find it confusing, but some people did, and I don't think there's any need for it. Um, Overall, I'll give this film about a 9.4, 9.5. The only letdown to it would be kind of love interest, the kind of romantic side of it. Um, it's quite a funny fat Asian girl in it as well. If you like laughing at fat Asians, not saying I do, but she's quite funny. Her name is Charita Chen, character's name anyway, and she's called Jolene Purdy, and yeah, she's not pretty. She's pretty fat. and a little bit Butters. She's pretty funny. It's got some comedy in there. Um, but overall, it's a really good film. I definitely advise watching it. And I think Tomorrow is my least favorite film, my most hated film. I've got to think about that one already because there are quite a few shit films out there. Might be Disaster Movie. That's really awful. But I guess you'll have to see tomorrow. See what I come up with. I'll have to watch it tonight. But yeah, I do advise watching this film. And if you listened, thanks for listening. If you're gonna hate, go on and hate. But fuck you, I guess. So I don't know. See ya next tomorrow.